Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Red Elevator. I'm Nina Takesh, wearing red today, stepping out of the red elevator, as you can see, to answer your dying questions. Finally, question and answers here on the red elevator. Follow me. And since so many of you asked me today, I am wearing a very fun eyelet dress by Joanna Ortiz that has roses and hydrangeas and all sorts of fun red colors. And my shoes are a vintage find from The Real. I will link these outfits or things similar to them in the comments section. I am overly dressed up today because there is an occasion we're celebrating. The occasion is my almost 1 year or a little bit over a year that I have been providing content for you guys on my Red Elevator YouTube channel. So I wanted to celebrate this moment and thank every single one of my subscribers and those that are new, of course, as well, and ask you perhaps to subscribe to this channel. I started this really haphazardly, which is how I do most of my things in my life. I just decide to do something and I go for it. I don't even overthink it. So it's been a journey. It's been an interesting journey. And there have been a lot of rewarding moments being on YouTube. Some of them not so great, but the majority of them wonderful. And I couldn't have done it without you guys. I couldn't have done it without your support. And I certainly couldn't have done it without you subscribing. So for those of you who have subscribed, thank you. For those of you who tune in, thank you. It really means a great deal to me. And I just want to share my passion with you. That's really basically it. There's no agenda here. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And let's get into question and answers today. Our very first question comes from FRIEDA Wilson. FRIEDA, thank you for sharing your question with us. And FRIEDA asks, what is your suggestion around putting runners on the wood stairway? The specific question is fabric, wool, or something else, the bars to hold them down, pattern. Overall, our house is neutral in color, has a lot of detailed moldings, but still has the feel of semi-modern home. So this is what I have to say about runners. As you can see from my staircase, I do not have a runner. And that is because I did not want to interrupt the flow of the staircase. But I do love runners. I think they're great. I think they're great for the feet. I think that it's safe to have if you have small children so that they have more of a grip. The staircase is dangerous, so I don't recommend it. In fact, my mother used to call me when my kids were little and say, are you okay? Have you fallen down the stairs? Is everybody alive? So yes, runners are great. And I'm gonna give you 3 examples of runners that I love. One is an ombre runner. So yes, FRIEDA, wool is a great material. Wool cleans easily. Remember, fibers that are man-made, meaning fibers that are not natural, are gonna be harder to clean. So if you have wool or if you have some type of cotton or silk, those are gonna be easier to clean. So a wool runner is a good idea. Make sure you treat it so that it doesn't get dirty. And I love having wool runners in an ombre color. As you can see in this photo here, you have a beautiful ombre runner. It just gives it a little bit more texture. It gives it a little bit more depth. The other material that I also love that I wanted to share with you is a sisal rug. A sisal rug in a modern house or even in a traditional house works both ways. And I do love the brass details, as you can see in this photo, that keep the rug in place. Most of the time these are just decorative, but can also be useful. If you can attach them to your staircase, go ahead and do them without really ruining and perforating your materials. My third and favorite way to handle a staircase is to have what you see in this photo, which is really wonderful. It's a panther that looks like it is running up the staircase. This is a beautiful rug from the Rug Company, and it really is a wow feature in your home if you want something that stands out. Our very next question comes from Kimberly. Kimberly asks, I would love some tips on mixing metals. I am loving chrome these days, but I still use a lot of black metal with a touch of aged brass. Just wondering how to accomplish being able to include more chrome pieces and if it's even a good idea. Okay, Kimberly, you are a darling close to my heart because as you guys know, if you watch my channel, I love mixing metals. I mix metals because there are no rules in interior design. There are no hard rules, I should say. There are some basic rules, but mixing metals is not a rule that is a no-no. In fact, I love mixing metals. If you watched last week's episode that we had of this beautiful home called L'Arc Blanc, and if you check out that bathroom, we're gonna add some footage right here for you guys to notice. Look at this bathroom. This bathroom has H brass, it has black, it has chrome, and it has all of these mixed metals. And why does it work? It works because it has come together playfully. It has a marble, I should say porcelain tile that has a lot of colors in it that mimic some of these metals. So if you want to mix your metals, do it, but do it artfully. Bring in another material that has some brass tones in it, some silver tones in it, maybe a little bit of a touch of black if you have in your windows, as you saw in that bathroom, and definitely mix your metals. You don't have to have an all-white bathroom with only chrome fixtures. That is very dated, and make sure that you have that designer touch. So thank you for that question. If you're watching this episode and bummed that you did not submit your question, don't worry, it's not too late. Ask your question in this exact video in the comment section, because in a few weeks, I will be answering those as well, because I think that there is a lot of value added benefit to answering some of your questions. So we are gonna go to FHD. FHD asks, I'd like to know your opinion on chevron herringbone pattern flooring and whether it should be tiles or wood floorboards. Thank you. Okay, herringbone and chevron. Herringbone and chevron are my two favorite patterns in wood or tile that mimics wood. Chevron and herringbone are one of my favorite patterns, and the reason they are a trusted and true pattern is that they have been in homes for centuries. If you look at a Paris apartment, which I often reference, you will see the floors are either chevron or herringbone equally. There isn't one more than the other, actually, in Paris apartments. What I like about it is the wood pattern in the chevron and herringbone. I prefer that to actually tile, but I also love it. But my one caveat about herringbone and chevron is do not mix colors. Do not have white and black tile creating a chevron pattern or a herringbone pattern. That is dated. That is not true to its actual architectural elements and design intent. What you want to do is you want to keep one material, one color, and use either herringbone or chevron, and go for it. I love it. PABITRA asks, PABITRA, thank you for asking your question. Can you please give us your ideas on how to upgrade the courtyard? Okay, PABITRA, courtyards are very important. Many of us have them, especially in apartments and even in homes that have a large enough space to accommodate a courtyard. Here you have an example in my home. It's not really a courtyard, but it mimics the idea of a courtyard. What I love about this particular courtyard that I think would also pertain to your question is the level of detail and the mixing of the different elements. I have a fountain here, which is also very beautiful and has the element of sound, which is important. Then we have the oak leaf hydrangea plants that, again, have a different texture, they have a different vibe. They're in between the tree and the wall. Everything has to have symmetry. As you can see, there's two trees on each side. I think that my main point that I wanted to make about the courtyard is, yes, you can mimic this, it would look great, but keep symmetry, keep your elements with different heights so that your eye has a place to dance and to fall and to look at interesting things. Keep it clean. Keeping things clean and minimal is very important. Don't overdo colors. Don't do a plethora of different flowers. Just keep 1 to 2 to 3 elements max. Keep them uniform and have that uniformity symmetrically dispersed in your courtyard. My next question is from Katie BURGETT or Bourget, I'm not sure, but Katie asks, what is the best way to protect walls behind a floating vanity in a bathroom if you hate tiled walls and don't have the budget for stone behind the mirrors? This is a great question, Katie, which is why I chose it as one of the questions to answer today. And I believe that a lot of us have this issue, and I have come up with the best solution for you, Katie. So what is happening in construction lately is that instead of baseboards in uber modern homes, people are adding a molding, which is a very thin metal molding, which goes flush with the wall, recessed with a wall. This is an inexpensive way of putting what would have been a backsplash, but instead of having backsplash, which can be costly, and if you hate tile, the best thing to do is put this metal groove as if you are creating a backsplash, and this will allow you to keep your walls clean. And what I mean by that is, when you soil your wall, which you will when you are in a bathroom, when you are putting on your makeup, when you're brushing your teeth, things splatter. But when you have this particular molding and you have what is a profile of a backsplash, what ends up happening is that you only have to paint that one area. You don't have to paint the rest of the wall. This is also true of baseboards. So the reason baseboards were invented and the reason backsplash was invented is to keep things clean. And you are constantly, running into baseboards. So by having this detail, what you can do is only address the portion that is sort of cut off by this metal groove and paint only the area below that groove in order not to have to paint everything, because it has its own defined space and it doesn't matter if the color is slightly off because it's its own little area. The very next question comes from ICEQUEEN. ICEQUEEN asks, do you have any tips for how to create a gallery wall? I have several paintings and posters that I want to display and would really appreciate any advice since I'm struggling to make them look good together. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, ICEQUEEN, this is a very good question and pertains to a lot of people who love to do gallery walls. My suggestion would be to grab a few pieces of newspaper, tape them together, put them on the floor. Then I want you to create your gallery wall on the floor in the placement that you think will work. If it feels off to you, I would take a couple of the posters that you're mentioning, or maybe drawings that you have, and frame those in the same frame. If things are not coming together, is that everything is completely uncohesive and it's going to be very difficult for you to make them look cohesive. So take 2 or 3 of those posters or prints, frame them in a beautiful frame that is different, maybe a little bit ornate, and make those sort of stand out so there's some uniformity amongst them. My next big tip is to create a rectangle, meaning you're going to put in the 4 corners of your, what will be your gallery wall, artwork in the 4 corners, so you exactly know where your triangle or your rectangle, where your rectangle begins and where it ends. And then go ahead and insert your other artwork so that there is a balance. I hope that this helps, and I hope that you're able to create a great gallery wall. The other thing that I would recommend is, once you have placed the art, do an outline of the art, tape the craft paper or the newspaper back to the wall, and with a pencil you can draw exactly the outline or where the where the nail goes onto the wall, so that when you actually put it on the wall, you know exactly what you're doing and you have a template. Last question comes from Henry Canizales, who asks, would you consider a meet and greet for your fans? Henry, thank you for asking. That's so sweet, and I am elated that people actually want to meet me. I don't know why. Because I don't think I'm that great, but I will be happy to do meet and greets. The reality is I am going to be signing up, and it just so happens that Henry asked this pertaining question, with what is called Cameo. So I will have that available for you guys. It will be in my stories on my Instagram at Nina Takesh, where I will allow you guys to be able to do some kind of fun meet and greet. I haven't figured it out yet, but I will, and I will share that with you on my Instagram page. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for being such wonderful subscribers, for being so positive in your comments, and really being part of this community, which I believe to be very special to me and to my heart, and watching this channel grow. You guys were here, most of you guys were here from the beginning, and if you're new, I welcome you to this channel. It's about empowerment, it's about growth, it's about learning, it's about lifestyle, it's about inclusivity, and it's about sharing. So again, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do so. And my Instagram also has a lot of great information if you want to follow me, at Nina Takesh. And I can't wait to see you guys again here next week on the Red Elevator.